My next guest is very popular because of an item of clothing that you just have to wear the one. It's a onesie. CEO of Tuxie. It is Derek Moncton. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have great ideas on the show. And who knew that, 4 or 5 years ago that your life would be revolutionized by a onesie?
Who knew?
Who knew? That's not something everybody gets to say.
I hear you.
So take us through it. Take us on the journey from the start all the way through. But let's talk about the concept. Why Tuxie? Why the onesie? What stuck out in your mind about the onesie?
So at first I didn't know it was going to be a onesie. So the way it kind of started, it was me and one of my best friends. We go to the gym together. And we'd always have these intentions of working together, doing something, and then we work out at CrossFit and stuff like that. And then we'd all work hard throughout the week. And then on Sundays we'd text each other to say like, "Hey, what are you eating today?" Like it's like your cheat day. So we're lounging on the couch and stuff like that. Then we kind of go from the couch to the gym. And at one point I said, "God, there's got to be a better way." I'm so annoyed with. Every week I'm like washing 6 pairs of jogging pants, sweaters, for all stuff that I'm wearing for 5-10 minutes from in between the couch to the gym. So we kind of started on the journey of creating the ultimate something to get us from the couch to the gym. Originally we had a bunch of ideas, but we kind of zoned in on kind of a suit. We didn't really know what it would be, right? Like, was it a tracksuit or what have you? From that point, we ended up bringing another one of our friends in. So we were 3 good friends, we were best friends for a long time. And then we set out to kind of create what now is the world's best one piece, or the best onesie. But really is kind of a suit to get from the couch to the gym, couch to the snowboard hill, just stay on the couch, or so numerous different
couch
uses.
To the gym, couch to the snowboard, couch to the hill. It sounds like what you're looking for is a car, but the onesie will get you there as well.
Right,
So from that point, why the onesie? You said there were a few different suits. You guys were trying to decide a tracksuit. So what appealed you to the onesie?
Well, I think a onesie. We debated a long time whether we wanted to even consider this a onesie, right? But the hard thing is how do you explain something? Because just to backtrack a little bit, so the way we kind of designed this, we used what's called a human-centered design approach. So we actually interviewed like 150 people before we knew exactly what we were going to do. And we asked them a bunch of questions like, what do you wear to go to the gym? A bunch of weird questions, not knowing what the point was. Then we asked everyone at the end as the last question, if we designed a onesie to get you to the gym, would you wear it? And the number one answer like that everyone said was like, wow, if it didn't look like a onesie, I would wear it. So here we had to kind of design a onesie that doesn't look like a onesie.
And the light bulb went off.
That's right. So then, it's actually very complex. Like it's not super easy. We spent probably thousands of dollars at Walmart buying gym pants stuff, sewing them together and trying to figure out how to get in. Oddly enough, we've got a patent, the utility and design patent on the suit, of how it functions on the waist and how you enter. So at that point, it was, okay, well, do we hide behind the fact that this is a onesie or not? Do we stand behind it when we're kind of launched? And one of my partners said, oh, we shouldn't use a onesie. No, I don't like that. But I think it plays into, it's the easiest thing to understand. When I say, hey, if I was going to tell you, I've got this suit and you can do a bunch of stuff with it, and like, oh, well, what kind of suit is it? A business suit? So if I say it's the world's best onesie, well, then you understand right away what the concept is, and then we have an opportunity to kind of shock and delight you for when you see it, and you're like, because I love the reaction every time someone sees it for the first time, like, oh, okay, I do actually wear that.
Yeah, and that's to borrow some more marketing stuff, but simple is best. Oftentimes when it's the easiest to remember, and really, so it's just the onesie right there. That's the surveys you guys are at. That sounds diabolical. Like that's some real targeted stuff. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Well, we're all when we first started again, we're 3 best friends, but we're all entrepreneurs by heart, and we wanted to kind of, we didn't know where it was going to lead, but we wanted to make sure that we really did it kind of right. And in the early days, we were doing it for ourselves. We wanted to really create something very cool and unique. And I always remember because we're pouring money into this stuff. We're
Yeah.
and at that point it was going nowhere. We were doing this for fun. It was like,
and at that part, it's like you're not really thinking, oh well, the corporate expense account.
That's right.
Spend some of this money. This isn't coming out of my own bank account. So.
But at that point, we were really thinking like, what, the worst case Ontario, to quote the Trailer Park Boys, essentially we'll have created the world's best onesie. Whatever. What a fun thing to do, right? And then the rest is history. Kind of skyrocketed from there.
Yeah. So the product launches. You've got it out in the marketplace. How long was it before you could really feel the momentum that you felt over the last, say, year or so? How long was that where you felt, all right, this is really something?
Well, actually, that happened pretty quickly. So the plan was to kind of validate the product, and to do so, I've been involved in retail, brick and mortar, for 12 years, and also in online retailing. But like any business, you want to validate it before we started, because I had lined everything out for the factories and stuff like that. But then we got to give hard money to invest and buy our first order. So then we decided, well, let's validate it and do a crowdfunding campaign. So we launched on Kickstarter in November 15th, 2017, and we wanted to raise 15 grand. We had 35 days to do it. If we did raise that successfully, then we say, all right, we're going to place the order. Ended up being funded in under 24 hours. And then in the course of the next 30 days, ended up raising 185,000. So then we were like, okay, well, I think this could work.
All right, sure. Yeah. This margin's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, and there was a lot of talk about it, not just locally, but in the international news community, a lot of people picked it up. Yeah. The idea of, man, a chill onesie, like I can sit and do. Did you find at that point it was maybe a little bit overwhelming, a little bit more than what you expected, or?
100%. I mean, we kind of essentially really went viral, right? Because at this point today, our video, I think, has broken 100 million views. So at that point, it caused us a lot, not caused us, it created a lot of work. It piqued our sales, of course, our pre-orders, I should say. But then it was really validation, because we had over 100,000 comments on posts and stuff like that we're monitoring and looking and answering people's comments. Stuff like how to go to the bathroom and the common question. Yeah. But then what I love seeing was oh my God, need this, and people will tag other people, right? So then I was like, wow, talking to hundreds of thousands of people saying I want and need this. So it definitely we were looking for validation, we got it.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So when did the Dragon's Den stuff come up?
Dragon's Den stuff kind of came up. I mean, it wasn't this big plan, we're gonna go to Dragon's Den. It was actually more people hey, when are you going to Dragon's Den? I was like, I don't know, when am I?
Didn't even thought of it.
Yeah. So last year in February, I was actually on the way to my my brother's wedding. So I missed all the auditions here, so I went to Toronto and auditioned there, kind of on a whim. And then when I was in China, kind of producing our first order, got the call, they wanted us on the show. So we went there in May, filmed the episode in May of 2018. So then we filmed the episode. Now it launched now last month. But it was the hardest thing in the world to keep a secret for about 8 months from especially people.
Time.
Oh yeah, especially people like my parents and stuff like that. No, you can tell me. Come on.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah.
What the pitch that you brought in? Because not only the pitch on TV, but also the pitch before that. How often did you rehearse that? How often did you look in the mirror and go, I'm going to say this and this and this? And
well, I'm
because clearly it was a winning pitch, but how
I'm constantly always doing the pitch, I guess. But I remember it's probably the hardest part, because I recorded myself doing it, and I recorded it in my head, because I knew that you have 90 seconds or 2 minutes to do your pitch, and then oddly enough that we were probably filming for an hour in front of the Dragons. But yeah, I practiced probably for a week before, because that was the only thing I had to remember. After that, I knew it was just I know the business like back of my hand.
Answering questions is nothing. It's
That's right.
It's the initial pitch that you really got to get down, and obviously you did, because. You've had great success with it, which is awesome. So you've got about a minute and a half or so. What's the future look for Tuxie? Tell us all about it.
Well, it's been 100 miles an hour here. We're growing the U.S. exponentially. I'm already selling internationally, but now we're looking at expanding that with some efforts. I just got back from Germany and trade shows. We're actually releasing a new product here in probably mid-April. I'm pretty excited about that. I think people would be pretty shocked and pleased at what we're doing, and always trying to innovate and always trying to grow.
Speaking of that, just very quickly, do you consider Moncton to be a test market just because you guys are here? Or do you?
Not really. No, I mean, I think we'll always have a soft spot in our heart. Our head office here. You know, we're hiring really, quickly now. We're looking for some marketing people right now. But we'll always do events here and stuff like that. But really, I don't want to ever think small. So not to say Moncton is small, but I want to be on a global scale, but out of Moncton.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Where can they find you? Where can they find the product?
You can find us at Tuxie.co on the web, at Tuxie Suit on Instagram and Facebook. We pretty much live on social media on the internet, so reach out anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Just
got to find it. Derek Moncton, the CEO of Tuxie. So if you didn't catch it on Dragon's Den, that's kind of the flavor of what it was right there. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.